All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rokakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And salutations to the Akim out there laboring of the hopeful elect that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And pretty much, as we into the times of distress in the earth, we're seeing tensions pretty much rise up, in the so-called Middle East, with Israel and Iran. And, the scriptures speak about, the least of the flock shall draw them out. The scriptures also speak about wars and rumors of wars. And this is all going according to prophecy, and everything is going to be accomplished that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has spoke of, and I got this article here from RT News, and this is Iran could be rethinking retaliation against Israel. And that's pretty much a statement from Politico. And it says, Washington does not believe an attack by Tehran to be imminent. Officials have told the outlet, and, when you really try to plan a war, you have to have a mass mobilization first in place, and they're pretty much thinking of a so-called rocket attack or the like. But we know, according to the scriptures, though, initially, this war is going to be pretty much a conventional war, and pretty much start out as one, But we know the ultimate, cherry on top is going to be thermonuclear, warfare. You see, all right. But the escalation has to get it to that point. You see, but it says here, Iran could be reconsidering its plans to carry out a multi-pronged attack on Israel in response to the killing of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh. Okay, Politico has reported, citing senior U.S. officials, and this is pretty much a wishful thinking in the part of the U.S. to think that Iran could be reconsidering, when ultimately they're really just plotting and planning, and this is not going to go forth until the Lord, pretty much sanctions this whole thing to tip off, but right now is pretty much, another building block, okay, to escalate in that region. You see, the region is pretty much being lined up, and we're going to see now where Israel ultimately is surrounded by their adversaries, so to speak. You see, okay, and right now the U.S. is pretty much in talks with pretty much trying to broker a deal to simmer things down, because ultimately they don't want the smoke, all right. But we're going to see how this plays out according to prophecy, man. Okay, all right. We understand in the scriptures that war is going to happen in that region. We understand that pretty much, the prophecy and what Ishmael, okay, and the joining parties, okay, the dragons of Arabia, okay, right. Speaking of them, along with the Persians, okay, pretty much are going to get things kicked off in that region, man. You see, all right. But reading on, it says, Haniyeh was assassinated in Tehran a week ago, hours after attending an inauguration of Iranian President Mohammad Pereskinski. Following the incident, Iran promised to inflict harsh punishment on Israel, which has neither denied nor acknowledged any role in the killing. Washington expected a large-scale missile and drone strike on the Jewish state, but at the beginning of this week, but the attack was not so far materialized, and pretty much, man, it's gonna get much more boots on the ground first and foremost. This is what we're gonna see. We're gonna starting to see the graduation, Salakia, of the warfare in that region. Okay, first we're gonna see the boots on the ground. Okay, and then pretty much ultimately the cherry on top is going to be where the U.S. gets involved and Russia gets involved, and pretty much the cherry on top ultimately is the thermonuclear warfare. But we're going to see here where, U.S. and Washington is pretty much playing a guessing game right now. Okay, they're seeing that no retaliation has yet been, taken out. They pretty much are trying to broker a deal. But we're going to see, that that according to prophecy, man, that things are going to get kicked off. So it says, the outlet claimed in an article on Wednesday that the reason for this was the diplomatic efforts by the administration of U.S. President Biden, which has been engaged in intense diplomacy in recent days to assure the American allies in the Middle East lobbied Tehran to reconsider its plans to strike Israel. And pretty much, it's ultimately just a stopgap, and pretty much everybody is, in their own respective corners, and seeing the pretty much the reaction and counter reaction of things that have happened. You see, all right. But it says, according to two high-ranking U.S. officials who talked to Politico, Washington warned Tehran through intermediaries that a massive strike would only inflame tensions and risk a direct confrontation between the two countries. You see? All right, so, there's ultimately, some sort of collateral damage when you're dealing with war. So, the Lord's controlling the minds of the king, but pretty much, this next retaliation will be a lot more pretty much organized, so to speak. Okay? Now, the time and place, that's all up to the Lord, but we're pretty much seeing this thing played out in real time, which is a beautiful thing, man. Okay? And we're seeing prophecy pretty much, coming to pass, and it says, the Iranian authorities initially rejected the U.S. argument that Haniyeh's killing did not require a large-scale response because it was caused by a bomb planted in a covert operation and was not part of a larger attack on Iran, the sources say. But now Tehran is increasingly on board with such an interpretation of event, they claimed. And pretty much, it was a covert operation that was a direct attack, to pretty much take him out. You see? So that now, the country of Iran is pretty much being infiltrated by, assassins, so to speak. Okay? And, they're seeing that it wasn't a planned, an attack where the citizens were involved, but it was a surgical strike, so to speak. And that's a lot more for a person to try to get revenge, you see? Okay? Because that would be more of a violation, because just the fact of the point was where he was there for an inauguration of the Iranian president, you see? So this is all tying in to where, these, figureheads, man, are pretty much are going to put their heads together, man, and come up against Israel, you see? All right? It says, another argument used by Washington was the fact that no Iranian citizens were killed in the attack on a Hamas political chief. And just like I said, this is all about them guessing. This is a guessing game, okay? Because right now, they don't even understand, what Iran's plans are, you see? But we already know that war is pretty much in the air and it's imminent, man. The scriptures speak about wars and rumors of wars, you see? So, even though this thing tarries, it's not going to prolong for much longer, you see? Okay? But it says, Tehran seems to have recalibrated, and the U.S. does not expect an attack on Israel imminently, the sources say. However, they added that some kind of Iranian response to Haniyeh's assassination should still be expected. And of course, and right now they're probably getting counsel from Russia, and Russia is going to be a guard unto these nations. So they pretty much are getting, whatever intel, advanced intel on Israel and whatever else they can get, and this thing is going to be pretty much a organized, planned attack. And pretty much, let's get that in the scriptures real quick, okay? Because Ezra spoke about these things. This is the vision that he had seen. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 28. It says, "Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, and all they which hear them may fear and tremble." Okay, so they're coming in a great force. Now you got to understand the dragons of Arabia is pretty much all of those countries that's in that region. Now you got to remember that Iran, okay, even though they pretty much practice the Muslim faith as a whole, they're really not the same people. Okay, they're actually Persians. Okay, you see. But they have that bond of that Muslim Brotherhood, okay? You see? And it's all pretty much being tied in, all right? But it says, man, they're going to be carried as the wind upon the earth, all right? And it says, also, the Carmanians, and the Carmanians are speaking about, modern-day Iran. And to prove that point, okay, simple search here. It says the Carmanians are people mentioned in the Bible in 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 30. They were from Carmania, a fertile province in ancient Persia that is now modern-day province of Kerman, Iran. And that's the point right there. Okay? You see? So that's how we know that it's pretty much tied into what it's speaking about, man. You see? But it says, they shall go forth as wild boar of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And it's pretty much that region now what we're speaking about, man. Okay? They're going to waste a portion of that land, man. All right? It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall return themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them. And what's the Arabians, the dragons of Arabia, what's them having pretty much remembering their nature? Okay? What's remembering their nature? Let's go back to Genesis. Okay? We got to remember the nature of Ishmael. Okay? All right? Pretty much Hagar, which was the bondmaid, okay, was Sarah's bondmaid, which pretty much had a son with Abraham. Okay? And his name was called Ishmael. But we're going to get the prophecy, okay, when she was Hagar was pretty much cast out. All right, let's get it in the I had it in the NLT. Let's get it in the regular KJV real quick. Okay, it says and the angel of the Lord said unto her, because she was pretty much in the wilderness, crying, okay, because she was cast out along with her son Ishmael. It says, behold, thou art with child, okay, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because Yahweh have heard thy affliction, right? And it says, and he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And he's dwelling in the presence of all his brethren. Okay? You got to remember, those are the 12 princes of Arabia. Okay? And the Lord did give them a blessing. Okay? But the ultimate blessing of the promise, between Ishmael and Isaac was given to Isaac. Okay? But although we see now Ishmael with their blessing, and you're seeing how with they are pretty much rich in resources as far as oil. Okay, all right, very wealthy nations are in that region. Okay, so that is basically their blessing on this side, man. Okay, but the Lord said, man, that Ishmael, right, is going to be a wild man. Let's see if we can grab something from out of that. Okay, all right. Let's see here. He will be a wild man. Let's go with wild. Wild ass. It says, from H6500 in the secondary sense of running wild, the oneiger. Okay, let's get that oneiger. Let's get that definition real quick. Oneiger, an animal of the race of the Asian wild-ass native to northern Iran. You see? Okay? Okay, and you pretty much see how, people are pretty much are inquiring. It says, what does oneiger mean in the Bible? You see that? So people pretty much are making a search, because you're seeing this search pretty much came from the blue letter. Okay, this word. Okay? And this word is only appearing in the blue letter. Okay? All right? Loving freedom and fearless are pretty much described. Okay, Jeremiah 2:24 and Job 39:5-8. Pretty much, but the point is that it goes into that wild nature, man, that they're gonna be in, man. Okay, all right, you see, and this is all prescribed from the Lord, man. Okay, all right. Let's read the rest of this article and finish up. It says here, Washington Post reported on Tuesday that Israel only informed the U.S. of the Hamas political chief's assassination after the fact, which caused surprise and outrage in the White House. Speaking at the extraordinary meeting of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on Wednesday, Iran's acting foreign minister, Ali Panjeri Kanai, called Haniyeh's killing only one example of the terrorist crimes of Israel regime in the region and beyond. And pretty much, the U.S. has their hands full, man, because dealing with Israel is like dealing with a small, unruly child, you see? And they have to pretty much come up and clean up their mess, But we know that the power of the elites is running everything through that state of Israel, man, So, hey, the least of the flock shall pretty much draw them out, man. Okay, and this is all going according to biblical prophecy, man. So all right, with that, pretty much, we're seeing how things are playing out in real time, man. And this is an extraordinary time to be alive, man. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Shalom.